While the focus of an ethics hearing is to determine whether violations of the Code of Ethics occurred, the focus of an arbitration hearing is to resolve a contractual monetary dispute between the parties. An arbitration hearing also has a different standard of proof. Instead of clear, strong, and convincing, which is the standard for an ethics hearing, the standard for an arbitration hearing is the preponderance of evidence. What's that mean? Envision a set of scales with the testimony and evidence weighing on each side, either to the benefit or detriment of the complainant or respondent. If the scales tip only slightly in favor of one party over the other, that will likely be decisive for the prevailing party. It's very rare for panels to split the arbitration award, but more on that shortly. The most common arbitration hearings are procuring cause disputes. Who procured the successful transaction? It is natural to try to create clear-cut standards for determining the procuring cause of a transaction, and many have tried. However, real estate transactions are complex, and each transaction is a composite of unique steps. I have administered hundreds of arbitration hearings and sat through thousands of hours of testimony, and have concluded that arbitration hearings are rarely black and white, but rather various shades of gray. That can be frustrating for the parties to an arbitration, but that's the reality for panelists who have to resolve these disputes. The Code of Ethics and Arbitration Manual contains two invaluable tools for arbitration hearing panels. The first is called Arbitration Guidelines, suggested factors for consideration by a hearing panel in arbitration. These guidelines must be provided to the parties to the arbitration hearing, including to the arbitration hearing panelists prior to the arbitration. But we need to emphasize that these are guidelines, black and white cookie-cutter tools. Arbitration panelists must still analyze and evaluate the conduct of all disputing parties when determining entitlement to commission. The other invaluable tool is the arbitration worksheet, also found in the manual. Remembering the image of scales to evaluate the preponderance of evidence in an arbitration hearing, using the worksheet enables the panel to focus on those factors contained in the arbitration guidelines.